things I'd like to say before we begin for the folks here with the foundation. George and Elizabeth have been instrumental in running the project, and I don't know how many hours George will tell you, but they both have put in countless hours, and believe me, they make the job of being president right easy. You just need to try to keep everything moving flow. They're doing it. They're keeping it moving. And I want to thank everyone here with the family for this presentation that we're about to give. It's their donation. And just thank you. And if you are interested, the Fort Boonesboro Foundation is a nonprofit, and we welcome anyone who would like to become a member. You can talk to us, and we'll give you instructions on how to do so if you wish. But with that being said, all the folks here with the foundation have education in mind and trying to preserve the education and the Fort history. And Jack Wimburn is our park manager, and he is now going to come over and give a introduction of information, but I just welcome and thank you very much. Jack?
Thank you, Larry. As Larry said, my name is Jack Wimburn. I'm the park manager. I've been park manager for about 3 or 4 years now. I've been here on the park for 40-some years with the state, so kind of grown up around this area. I want to thank everybody for showing up today for this dedication, and particularly we want to thank the Langston family and then the Fort Boonesboro Foundation. Without them, none of this would be possible. Like Larry said, they ran with this project, and now we have this great new display down here that we're going to unveil here shortly, and we're looking forward to that. The foundation, our Fort Boonesboro Foundation, is one of the oldest and one of the most active in all the park systems, and without this fringe group, I don't even want to know where we would be. Over the years, they've provided hundreds of thousands of dollars in outside funding and tens of thousands of volunteer hours, and like I said, I would just be afraid to see where we were without them. So we definitely want to thank them for everything they've done, and hopefully for everything they will do in the future. Fort Boonesboro was founded as a state park in the 1960s, and it is one of the most visited recreational state parks in the system. Over the years, there's several 100,000 guests on the campground, the fort, the swimming pool, picnic area, hiking trails. It's a very active, very busy park. Unfortunately, last year, not so much, and this year, due to flood damage, again, not so much. Under normal years, the fort gets around 20 to 25,000 paid guests, and so we're really looking forward to getting back to normal and showing them this new display. And one thing that I am personally happy to release about is the foundation's 3D replica they've made of this. We see a lot of possibilities with that for outreach programs in schools, hands-on activities here at the fort, something on a road trip to civic organizations and things like that. So to me, that's almost as a big gain for the park as the actual antler itself. All right, I'm going to turn it over to George or Elizabeth here, and they'll take the detailed history of what's been involved in this.
My glasses are transition, can't see a thing. On now. This has been a project that just kind of started. Most people know or don't know that my business over 35 years is I make lampshades. And Janice's Salt Box was somebody I made lampshades for. And so when I would go in, I would converse with the girls and talk about what was happening and I mentioned Fort Boonesboro many times, I'm sure. And Dandra overheard it. And that's what got this started. And she said, when you come back next time, we have a horn we want you to look at. So I said, George, you better go with me today because they're going to have the horn. And so he's standing there, and there comes with the black bag. And when you're at Fort Boonesboro, you think of a powder horn that's this big. And she's coming with the bag this big. And he pulls it out, he says, oh, this is an antler. And look what's on it. D. Boone 1778. And that's where it all started. And they have, the Langston, Andrew and her mother and the family have been generous enough to donate this to the foundation. The foundation has had the museum quality case built. We've had the replica made, which, like Jack says, I think this is really going to be good. And now today we actually finally get to have everybody be able to enjoy it and see it. And I can tell you when the light bulb went off for George. This was June, July, August of 17 when we got it. We did a major trip, and when we were in Missoula, Montana, he was sitting in a big, nice leather chair in Missoula and looking at all the elk display light bulb. This is where we could get a grant to do the carbon dating on the antler. And from there, of course, that trip was interrupted a little bit. We ended up staying in Oregon a little extra time with bypass surgery out there, but we got ourselves home, and he has worked on it. Just the hours are untold hours. Investigating, looking up, talking to people, and the hours at the computer are untold. But it's worth every minute and everything that's gone into it, because now there is the exhibit here that that will be enjoyed like for years and years. George?
You want to introduce somebody?
Yeah. Okay. This is Andra and her mother. This is Janice Langston.
I see if I can get up. Oh.
And it was her
my great-grandfather.
Yes, her great-grandfather who actually found it in Bourbon County.
Caddy on the creek.
On Hasten Creek. And they're here today, and Andra's son is here. This is my son, Langston Wilson.
That took it to show and tell.
Oh yeah, I took it to show and tell. And he did too. And he did too. So it's already been exposed to a lot of people, and now there's thousands that will be able to see it and learn the history is good. So.
Very nice project. And the thing about it, it's going to connect with a lot of folks for years, which is very special. It's amazing how an old bone that's found along the creek has made it this far. Without the carving, James would probably never kept it. But with the carving, the family kept it. I'm sure, like I said, you can imagine the eyes pop out when the family saw it. All the guests that came by their home, and they shared it with everybody. So everybody in the whole neighborhood never knew about it, I'm sure, up and down the creek. So Hickson Creek has changed a lot since the antler was found. Originally that watershed was all forested back in Boone days, full of elk, buffalo, all the good stuff. But with the advance of settlers taking game for whatever use they wanted, it wasn't long till a lot of game was no longer around Boonesboro and that area. So to find that antler from an extinct subspecies of eastern elk is pretty neat. There's no other artifact in Kentucky like it without the carving. We checked with everybody, archaeologists, state, private, UK. They had a lot of bones and parts of the elk are found in millions of trash heaps and whatever throughout Kentucky, but as far as the elk antler, no. So we have something no one else has. Some people I'd like to thank are Joe Lacefield, a wildlife biologist for 11 counties in central Kentucky. He was involved in the first reintroduction of elk back to Kentucky in 1997. They came from Kansas. There were just a few. Governor Patton was there when I made the release down in East Kentucky. It's a 16 county area in southeast Kentucky that's elk restoration zone. So we started out with a few elk, now we got over 13,000 elk. And there's a quarantine on elk. They can't give elk away anymore because of chronic wasting disease. We're trying to contain that disease. So the elk are here, the herd's going to keep growing, so we can't give the elk away like they did to 6 different states. Up in Michigan, Wisconsin, Virginia, I don't know where else. I had a book. I should remember that. But. So the elk herd is restored now, which is pretty neat. They have a hunt every year.